So everyone has introduced, and from all the introduction, we come to a conclusion that like no one is from cybersecurity directly, but everyone are beginners. So some are technical, and some are non-technical people. So we'll be proceeding, like that. So let me share my screen. So I believe everyone knows about different teams and cybersecurity, right? You might have like you might have gone through it, or maybe Shivam sir has told you about it, but I'm still going to take you through it again. Okay. So in cybersecurity, there are two main categories, or the two main domains. So one is defensive security, and the other one is offensive security. Okay. So okay. So in defensive security, it's all about learning the defensive mechanism, and protecting the infrastructure from any cyber attack. Okay. The offensive security team does the same, but it is more of penetration test. Okay. So let's talk about a small example. Let's talk about a bank. Okay. Uh, let's say there's a bank. Okay. Let me maybe draw a picture. Let's say this is the outer wall of the bank, and there's a bank here. So we're right now talking about the physical, thing, the physical bank, and how, it is similar, or how we can understand the concept. So let's say here is, the place where all the cash or gold, or the valuable assets are kept. Maybe this is the reception, and the outer area, and it's the fence. Another thing is, there are always watchmen, okay, who guards the bank. They do 24 by 7, 365 days monitoring to the bank. So they work definitely in shifts, okay, 3 shifts a day, and there's no leave on Sunday or any holiday, public holiday. They work in shift, and 365 days. Some or the other watchman is protecting this particular environment, right? So in similar terms, in cybersecurity or in security, there are teams who monitors the application, and the application or the network, and they keep track of all the attacks that are happening. So let's say if anyone is carrying a knife in the bank, the watchman is going to stop it and take away the knife. Okay. So they'll make sure only a filtered, public goes inside. If there's anything suspicious, the watchmen are going to, like just question them, or they are going to filter those people out. Okay. So that is, called as monitoring, or, the monitoring of the bank environment. And here we call them as SOC or NOC team. Okay. So let me clear the picture for. Mhm. So in defensive security, the first team is NOC and SOC team. So NOC and SOC team basically are the monitoring teams which monitors 24 by 7 by 365 days. Please let me know if the font is good for you, or you want me to zoom in a bit. I'll be sharing this notes with
Good.
you.
It's good.
It's good. Awesome.
Please zoom that.
Sure. I'll zoom it up a bit. Is
Thank
this
you.
fine?
Yeah, looks good now. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. So now NOC team and SOC team are two different teams. So network operation center and security operation centers monitors at two different areas. So one monitors at the network, and the other monitors at the application layer. So this in detail we'll be seeing, what the difference and everything, in the dedicated classes. But right now, just we're going to have a basic overview of it. Okay, how the architecture is. Okay. So now let's see in the same environment. Okay, in the same bank. Now there is a group of people. They come with some weapons. Okay, some dangerous weapons. Let me again go back and draw the picture. So they come back. Some people comes with weapon. They have some dangerous weapons. Um, okay. Now this watchman, they are not, let's say they are not capable to handle these many people, a large amount of people, with that much of weapons and everything. So what is the step do you think these watchmen are going to take? Any idea, or you can just give a random guess? That's okay. You can be wrong.
Additional members or the
Mm,
external members in the team?
uh, okay, great. They, you mean they might call the cops as well, right? Or the external, their additional
Yes.
resources. Awesome. So yes, in such cases where there's an incident or there's some like a big activity which these people are not able to handle, or which where they require a tremendous amount of power, or they need cops for it. So they are going to give a call, or they are going to escalate that incident to the further team, which is called as incident response team. So this incident response team, as in this watchmen are going to give a call to the uh, cops. Similarly, this knock and sock team, if something is beyond their is beyond monitoring, and it's a live attack, and which is a dangerous attack, they are going to involve incident response team into it. Okay, so that is called as cybersecurity incident response team. Okay, awesome. So let's see, at some particular time, an event had happened. And that event, like some bad actors, they came in the bank. They have taken certain amount of money or gold with them. And this had happened. Okay, let's say a night back. Now, what are the steps this, people are going to take? The bank people, or you can say the, monitoring team. So this attack has already happened. Okay, a few hours back or a night back. Now, what are the steps that they'll be taking?
To track the people that did it.
Mhm. Perfect. So, yes, they're going to involve a team which will do forensics, which will do digital forensics. Maybe they will check CCTV cameras, they might check fingerprints, okay, if there's any clue that is there. So, when it comes to the, like normal or physical environment, it is forensics. It's called as, the normal forensics. But when it comes to an internet where, such thing had happened, it is called as digital forensics. Okay. So, that is what the action digital forensic team does. Okay, so these are the basic like the most important teams in cybersecurity which are in the defensive side. Okay, so and based on like with an example, I've explained what exactly their work is. So if you guys have any questions, I'll address them first, and then we'll go to the next part, which is offensive security.
Good.
Pardon.
So very good.
Good, awesome,
Yeah.
great. Thank you for confirming. Uh, in case you have a question and you are not able to like speak up, or you have any you're hesitating, you can use Zoom chat, and you can put your question there. And even if you don't want to put it in like in the everyone section, you can just drop it to me so I can address it. Okay, so you can feel free to ask any questions. Okay, now there's offensive security team. So offensive security team is what, as an external assessment or an internal assessment, the company does to check whether their assets are secure. Asset as in their infrastructure or the servers, their digital assets that company has, that's secure. So now let's say again this is the bank, and this is the entrance, and let's say this here the wall is weak, or there's some sort of entry which a backdoor access which is there. So the bank will hire, or they will have their own internal people, okay, who will perform a thorough assessment on this environment. Okay, they'll try to go inside from here. Okay, then they'll try to reach to a point where there is this most sensitive information or the most sensitive assets the bank has. They'll try to reach here. Once they reach here, they'll create a report of it. What was the like what was the vulnerable thing because of which they were able to enter this infrastructure? Okay, so these kind of things, the team which perform is called as offensive security team, and there are various activities they do. Okay, so this is called as vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So that is the most important thing that we have in offensive security. So it's more of an ethical hacking. You might have heard about this term. So ethical hacking, and this team offensive security team does it. So there is also in layman's term it's called as ethical hacking, and in security terminologies it is called as VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Okay, so it's exactly the same, and based on the areas, it's the work is defined. So the offensive security does the penetration testing, red teaming activities, DevSecOps implementation on different areas. So we're going to go one by one to each of them. Okay, to just understand it, and later we are going to study it in detail. Okay. So any questions there? No, right? Perfect.
Can you explain
Yeah.
in simple terms what's the difference between the defensive and offensive security, please? One more time.
Okay, sure, definitely. I'll do that. And someone else was also trying to say something. Can you go on? Okay. It was C. So defensive security is something which defends the attack. Okay, which is involved in defending or protecting the assets, and mostly defending. Okay, they'll create a strong defensive area which will strengthen the security posture. And in offensive security also, it is mostly the same. But there, these people hire the people, not hire, or they can be the internal team of the company itself. So they will ask to do security assessment. They will ask the offensive security people to hack into this infrastructure ethically, okay, and reach the reach the area where most sensitive information is there. And based on this, they will create a report of it, and those reports will be shared with the developers or the server team, and those vulnerabilities will be patched before a third party or a bad actor hacks the company. They will do the analysis and get these vulnerabilities fixed. So that is what offensive security people does. They do vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Yes, Manju, if you have any top-up question, please let me know.
So defensive security is like basically it's like done day to day, but offensive security is like it's like sometime only, often, right?
No,
Whenever it's needed.
okay, no. So offensive security is also a day-to-day activity where every application is penetrated or is performed on pen testing every 3 months. Okay, based on the company's policy, but mostly every application is tested or it has been assessed every 3 months. So it is also a continuous activity, offensive security, but it's just the work is totally different in both of the areas.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. So, yes, so I'm going to be your offensive security trainer, and I'm going to teach you, most of the aspects of it that we are going to, see in offensive security. Now, before getting started in the actual things like, understanding what is vulnerability, penetration testing, I'm using certain words. Okay, we are going to understand, there are, some list of words that I'll be using. So I'll, just list down those words and explain you the meanings of it, the technical words, so that you'll get an idea. And before that, I'll just quickly show practical what exactly what sort of things we are going to do. Okay, so I'm going to awesome. So after this practical, we will be moving ahead with let me reshare my screen. Okay, so there are some common terminologies that will be just we'll go through. Correct, it's the typo. Okay, the first term that we're going to see, or the terminology, is vulnerability. So vulnerability is basically any weakness or flaw that can be exploited. In it can be in any application, infrastructure, or any digital asset. Okay, so something that can be exploited. So now in the practical, we saw there was a demonstration. We saw there was a vulnerability because of which user was able to log in directly in that application. So that was a vulnerability. Okay. So I hope you guys got an idea about what vulnerability is. If you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm not able to hear you. You're trying to say something?
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, perfect. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay. The second term is exploit. Exploit is basically taking advantage of any vulnerability. So if, let's say, a bad actor comes and he got to know that there's a vulnerability on any website, okay, someone is able to log in, or someone is able to execute some sort of script in the web application. Now he comes over there and exploit that vulnerability and gets some sensitive data out from the website, or maybe he bypasses the payments on that particular website. So exploitation is the part where the vulnerability is exploited to extend where the advantageous through that thing is done. Okay, so that is what exploit is. Okay. Any questions with exploit?
Vulnerability, any weaknesses or flaw that can be exploited within the system or in somebody else's system. How we can explain it?
Okay, on the target system.
Oh, okay.
So it is on the target system. So it can be someone else's system, or if you are trying it on your own system, if you're for the learning purpose. If you have your own system and or not just a system but a server or maybe a web application that you have designed. So yes, it can be anything that is that is target for your pen testing or scope. Perfect. Okay. Then there is payload. Any questions?
No, thanks. It's good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the next one is payload. So payload is a line of code that supports exploit. Okay. Exploit, in order to exploit, some sort of code is used. Okay. So that is called as payload. In XSS, a payload is something, a script alert, script tag follows is a payload which helps you give an execution on a web application. That is basically payload. Right now, we're going to understand it theoretically, and later we'll see what exactly it looks like. Okay. So that is payload. Basically, a line of code that supports exploit. Bot. So bot is something that can be commanded and controlled by someone else. So it is actually commanded and controlled by someone else. And you might have interacted with some sort of chatbots, not the AI-enabled chatbot, but the normal chatbots. Okay, or something. So they are always command and controlled by someone else. Okay, and then we have botnet. So botnet is basically collection of bots. So when there are multiple bots, it's a collection of bots. So it is called as botnet. Okay. Now I will be keeping daisy chaining for the last one. I'll first do PII and doxing. Okay. So PII stands for personally identifiable information, such as credit card details, bank account details, so everything. And then everything else that is sensitive to that particular person. Okay. So some information that he doesn't want to share with anyone, his personal information. That is his personally identifiable information, which is highly sensitive. Okay. So it can be more than this as well. Doxing is something where a person makes someone else's information, PII data, public. So let's say someone got an access to someone else's, like let's say person A got access to person B's bank account details and credit card information. Now the person A makes it public. He goes and tell like a lot of people about it. So he has this much amount in his bank, and this is his password. This is username. This is his username, and this is his password. So when someone does that, that is called as doxing. making the publicly identifiable information public. Okay, so that is about PII and doxing. So please let me know if you have any questions on this. No questions? All good? Perfect. Now, daisy chaining. So, daisy chaining is a process where an attacker creates a list of compromised devices. So, let me draw a diagram. Sure. Let's say this is an internal network. Okay, in this internal network, there are some computers. Let's say there are this many laptops or system, and there are some servers as well. So I'm going to draw a few, but you can understand there are more than that. Definitely. And these are the normal computers. And let's say these are servers, okay, with the different colors. These are the big servers. Now there's attacker A. This guy is A, attacker A. This A, gets into this internal network and he compromised this device. Okay, whichever it is. This he compromised. From this device, he goes here and compromise this device. Okay. Now from here, he compromised this server. Okay. And this is also compromised now. And now from here, he compromised this device. And this is also, in his control. Now, the daisy chaining is the process where an attacker creates a list or a chain of compromised devices. Now, this is the chain of compromised devices. So, this process is called as daisy chaining. The chain is called as daisy chain. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions on this.
Not on daisy chaining, but
Mhm.
can I go back to bot and can you give an example of how that works?
Okay, perfect. So I'll here, just put it theoretically, this bot. So bot is basically some sort of code or script which is command and controlled by someone else. Okay, that's that's the bot, and it's not you can just take an example of the normal chat bot that some website has. Okay, so that's a good purpose chat bot. But there are some bots which are used to. Okay, so I'll show that to you practically when in our next session how the bots are configured and are used. Right now, just some bot is a code or a script which is command and controlled by someone else, and it can be used for a certain automation or certain process,
Okay.
just like a chatbot.
So
But
so say that chatbot was hacked by somebody and then somebody else is trying to get the information out of you
uh,
and
no,
not the company itself.
No, not exactly. So let's say there's an attacker E. He creates his bot, not a chat bot, just a bot. Bot does more than chatting. Okay, not just the chat bot. So this bot collects information from multiple sources and it saves it to a server or some sort of directory. It saves it to. Okay, so now he have created that bot. Now, like this bot is command and controlled by the attacker A. So that is a bot. It can not always be a chat bot, but it can be a different multi-purpose bot. Mm, let me know if you have any questions, any top-up question on it. And when you will see this, practically, then you'll get more clarity about it.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So now with offensive security, there are multiple things. Okay. There's, we're going to see understand what are different digital assets are. And then we are going to see the security testing or penetration testing. Okay. So now I am using this word called asset. So what are assets to a company? Okay. So assets to a companies are, let's get into application assets for applications. So in applications, there are different sort of application, right? So web application, websites are also applications. It is a web application. Okay. Then you have mobile applications. Okay. APIs are also considered under application. So API, okay, are also used in applications. So we are going to put applications. Then you have desktop application in your computer, or the Chrome or Zoom app that you're using in your Mac or in your Windows laptop or in your Linux laptop. The thing that you install are called as application, and they are called as desktop application or thick client application. That's thick client. So these are applications. These are all, different sort of applications. Then there is something infrastructure in the infrastructure. So under infrastructure, there can be different assets to a company. So it can be servers, laptops. First, I'll go with the IDS, IPS, the routers. These are not the like the Wi-Fi routers. These are the network routers. The network routers used in the company for the DMZ or any other sort of things. Now, in this infrastructure, your laptops will also come. Okay, computers, laptops and computers and printers, or any IoT device. Also, mobiles, company-owned mobile devices. So all these are access to the company. Okay, and there can be more than this. So feel free to add if you guys have any more in your mind. So which are the digital assets for the company? Okay. Based from these assets, okay, the major assets, the security testing often is done. Okay. So when there is BAPT or penetration testing, I'm going to go on new page. So we have understood penetration testing of offensive security. It is basically analyzing the security flaws in an infrastructure or application. So that is called as VAPT or vulnerability assessment on penetration testing. So when penetration testing is done on a web application, it is called as web application penetration testing. When it is done on API collection, it is called as API penetration testing or pen testing. Same goes with mobile application. And same goes with desktop application. Okay. So in mobile, there are two types of platforms. There is your Android and iOS, and then in desktop you have Linux, Windows, and Mac. Okay, for testing. So now we are going to start with web application penetration testing. So in this course, we're going to cover web application penetration testing and API penetration testing and some concept of DevSecOps. Okay, so the thing I'm mentioning this is something like our key focus area will be these two in the application segment. Okay. So this is just for your understanding so that you'll get a direction in what direction we are going and where what we are learning. And the next thing that we are going to learn after this is infrastructure security or infrastructure PAPT. So this is also part of our course. Okay. So have you guys studied CIA Triage in the first class? It's not yet covered, right? Perfect. Okay. So I'll just give you a quick overview of CIA Triage. When we call something as a vulnerability, okay, when we call something as an attack, or is something of really security vulnerability, or it's just a flaw. So it is identified by three things, which is CIA. Okay, CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, so these are the three factors. So let me take it here. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality is basically the confidential data. So in any attack, if the confidential data has been leaked, we say confidentiality has been hampered. So in confidential data, it comes, PII data comes. So PII data, everyone knows what it is, right? Personally identifiable information. Okay. Then apart from that, there is, sensitive information about the organization on which the attack had happened. Okay. Or if it is a vulnerability, if any sort of sensitive information which is highly sensitive is getting public. Okay, so let's see in the in the example that we have seen. Okay, what do you think was confidential information hampered? The demo that I showed you, there any confidential information was hampered? What do you think?
Username and password?
Yes, username and password. His, the on the demo thing, the man, the guy whose account was taken over, he might have also added his credit card information, payment gateway, his address, everything. So that was also the confidential information, right? That got hampered, correct? So vulnerability can be classified by, vulnerability can be identified with these three things, whether it is a vulnerability or not. The first thing is confidentiality. The second thing is integrity. Now, integrity is, when we say integrity is hampered, that time we say that if any crude operation is performed on the database of the web application, or any changes are made in the web application, then we say integrity has been hampered. Okay. So if any changes, if any unauthorized changes are made in the web app, like crude operation, integrity is hampered. Okay, so crude is basically not read, just see. Okay, create. Anything is created, updated, or deleted. So if these operations are performed on the application unauthorizedly by any attacker, then we say integrity has been hampered. Okay, and then comes availability. So we're going to after this see an example so that there you'll understand it more well. So availability is when an application goes offline or is not accessible to users because of an attack. Then we say it is, the availability of that web application is hampered. Or, in by any particular vulnerability, if the availability is going down, then we say availability is compromised. So if the application / server is not accessible to the users, then we say availability is hampered. So confidentiality is the confidential information or the sensitive information. Integrity is performing, if an attacker is unauthorizedly able to perform, create, update, or delete a task on the web application or any server, then we say integrity is hampered. And then availability is because of any vulnerability, if the server or the web application is not accessible to the users, we say availability is hampered. Okay. So let me know if you guys have any questions on this one. Okay, great. Thank you for confirming. So, what is the use of CIA triage? CIA triage, the first use is you identify whether any flaw is a vulnerability or it is a QA flaw. Okay, that is what it confirms. Second thing, it gives you idea about the severity of the vulnerability. Okay, so this is a calculator which is used globally in cybersecurity to rate or to understand the severity of any vulnerability and to calculate its CVSS score. So CVSS stands for Common Vulnerability Scoring System. Okay, so that's our next topic, and this will be our last topic for today. Don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. Overwhelmed with a lot of things. We are studying, we are studying four topics, but I'm going to revise it again. So if it is getting overwhelmed on the first day, don't worry. Okay, so CVSS score. Okay, so CVSS stands for Common Scoring System. Okay, that's for my typo. And let's see. Okay, so here there are four sort of vulnerabilities. Okay, four severity of vulnerability. Severity. First one is critical. So critical means the vulnerability which makes most critical impact. Okay, it can be very dangerous. That vulnerability is called as critical vulnerability. Then high. High is something which is less, less than critical, but it's still high. Then you have medium, and then you have low. Okay, low. So these are the severities, four severities that we are going to use: critical, high, medium, and low. Okay, so you might have heard the term P1, P2, P3, and P4: priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, and priority 4. So it is similar. So these are the severities of any particular vulnerability. Now, the CVSS calculator ranges from 0 to 10. Okay, so it ranges from 0 to 10. 0 means low and 10 means critical. Okay, so it ranges like this: 0 to 10. And this, for any vulnerability, is identified or is calculated through CVSS calculator. Version 3.1 is the version that is being used across the industry now. Okay, so I'm going to, put these things just randomly right now. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. When we will be learning these things, we will, understand it in detail. Now, the three things we have, understood. Now, the demo that I've showed you, okay, rethink of it, okay, and tell me what all things are harmful: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. From these three things, what are the things you want me to put as none? What is the something that you want me to put as low, and what is something that you want me to put as high, or all three as high? So you're going to tell me about these three things. Okay, only confidentiality, integrity, and availability for today. Later, in the upcoming sessions, we'll be learning about these things. Okay, so yes, over to you. You guys can take 2 minutes to analyze, understand again, like re-go through that demo and tell me what all things you prefer adding it over.
Confidentiality should be a high for sure.
I
Okay,
think like confidentiality and integrity should be high, availability low.
yes, awesome. Okay, this is correct. Now I want you guys to, justify the reason why you, choose confidentiality high, integrity as high, and availability as high. Just to, for everyone as well to, who has not understood, they'll get idea through it. So if you guys want to, just mention about it, you guys can, or else I'll add it.
By the way, did we change anything during the demo?
Yes, definitely.
We did.
This was a parameter that I changed. I'm putting it in the chat box. So in the demo, we did response manipulation. We changed this
Right,
parameter.
right.
Okay, then yeah, integrity should be high, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So confidentiality, why in the web application, there was a section where payment details were saved. So having payment details, access to a payment detail, is a very confidential information, and that was a demo. It is a highly confidential thing. So that's the reason we have put confidentiality as high.
Right.
In integrity, we did response manipulation over there. Okay,
Correct.
and we were able to update that guy's detail. Okay, we can update, change his name. We can change his phone number as well, or his email address can also be changed. So there we see that's the reason we are putting it integrity as high, because we got the right to update that. Right?
Mhm.
And availability is that key for that particular person, as some other user has taken over his account, he will not be able to log in into his own account. So his availability will get hampered. And only one user's availability is going to get hampered. So it is low. It is not high. So that's the reason we have put it as low. Okay. And now the score is 9.4 critical. So we know it ranges from 0 to 10. Now it is 9.4 and it ranges in the category critical. So over to you for any queries.
I do have a question. So do we use this as a standard in our job?
Yes, everywhere. Across all the industries, this is the standard.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So
Sir, can you
this
explain
is
one more time?
yeah, definitely I'll do that. Yes, this calculator is across all the industries. In the security, like whatever the domain is, if it is financial, banking, or health, healthcare domain, or any domain, in any company, this is the standard for calculating a CVSS score or a vulnerability scoring. I'll explain this again. So now we are going to skip this till scope. Okay, we are only going to keep these three things, which is confidentiality, integrity, and availability for today. I'll explain these three things again, and then I'll come here back. Okay. So confidentiality is basically your confidential data, a company's confidential data, something that cannot be shared. Now, for us, what is our confidential data? Our social security number is our confidential data, right? Our account details, the bank balance into it, whatever amount it is. Okay. Then what else can be confidential data, guys? You guys can add. Anything else than this? Do you think confidential to you? Nothing? Okay. Maybe confidential data can be your password, or you have some passwords that
Bank
you
account.
yes, bank account details, right? And maybe some secret that you don't want to share with anyone.
Social
Okay, that
security,
also is a confidentiality. Yeah, go ahead.
social security number.
SSN numbers.
Yes, social security number. Awesome. Credit card details as well. Your credit card number, the CV, and all those things on it. Correct?
What about home address?
Yeah, home address can be sensitive. If you don't want to, it can be confidential. If you don't want to share that with anyone, you want to keep it confidential from, a group of people. So you can say confidentiality. That is your confidential data. You can say that. Okay. So anything that you guys want, any user want to keep it private, and it is something very sensitive, that is his confidential data. Okay. And same goes with an organization. Now let's talk about a company. So for a company, again, their bank account detail, their client detail is also confidential. If a company has, 10 clients, and the client contact number, and then, what data or what work they do for client, the client reports, that is also confidential. Okay. So something that cannot be shared with a mass public, and it is kept within the organization. It is the organizational confidential information, correct? Yes. Okay. Now, any doubt or any questions on confidential data or confidentiality in the CIA triage? Go ahead. No questions? Okay. So I'm assuming confidentiality is being understood properly. Now let's go to integrity. So now integrity is basically changing anything unauthorizedly. So let's say an unauthorized person comes, okay, and he changed your password. So that unauthorized operation he does is considered under integrity. Okay. So any unauthorized change that is made on the web application, on the infrastructure, it can be create, update, or delete, is categorized under integrity. So here, like that time when I showed you a demo, the attacker took over the web application, the account of that particular person. So when he logged in with that particular person's account, now he can change the username of that person. He can change email address of that person, his credit card information, everything, right? So he's able to create new information. He's able to update the information, and he can also delete his account. Okay. So he is doing it unauthorizedly. The owner of that account is not aware about it. Correct? So this is what we say integrity. Any questions over here? Or if this is clear, you can give me a confirmation.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Awesome. Perfect. Then availability. Now, if let's say in the same demo, the user deletes the user account, or whenever he is logged in, but the genuine person who owns the account will not be able to log in for that time whenever the user has been logged in. And if the user deletes his account, the availability of this user get hampered. Okay. Or if after an attack, the web's application goes down and it is not accessible to the mass audience, it also says the availability is hampered. Okay. So that is availability. So these are the three factors, the major factors that affects the CVSS score. Okay. So I believe all those three things are clear. Now, based on that, let me give you one more example, and let's try to understand this. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay. Uh, let's consider CRM port. Okay. Let's say this is an organization, this is a company. Okay. We are all part of a company, and we report to a person A. Okay. A is our manager, and we all are reporting to him. So now what happens is one of the user, let's say me, okay, let's say root is my my devices. So root is me, and I like I'm also working in the same organization. So this root user, what he does is he wants to check salary of different people. So what he does is he took over an account of let's say Aga, then takes over account of let's say someone else, Monica, or anyone else, and now he's able to see their salary. Okay, he's able to only see their salary. He's not able to update any details, but only able to view the data. Okay, and he is not able to sorry, he is able to do it for manager as well, but when he does and for everyone. So in this case, he's able to check the confidential information only. So what do you think? So help me calculate the CVS score here. So just tell me the factors which you want me to put it here. Is the availability hampered?
No,
No,
No.
no.
What do you think of integrity?
since he cannot change anything, maybe none.
No, yeah.
None.
And confusion.
Okay.
Yes.
High. Awesome. And now the score is high. I mean, like the 7.5 is the CVSS score, and the CVSS matrix or the severity is high. Okay. Awesome. Now let's take one more example. Now there's an attacker A. Okay. He hacks on this organization from external perspective. And now when he hacks this here, he is able to, like change all sort of data. Okay, he is able to change anyone's username, password, and everything. He's able to see the sensitive information, the salary, and everything. And after a point, yeah, so that is what he's able to do. Okay, and he has not, taken down any website. And whenever he has, accessed the information of all this user, he has not made, he's not deleted any account. Okay. So in this case, help me calculate the CVSS score.
Mhm.
Yes, integrity would be high.
High. Yeah.
Integrity will be high. Confidentiality, high.
High. Yeah.
And availability?
Available? No.
I think that will
No.
be high too, right? No?
No.
No, availability will not be high because he
No,
has not.
because he's not. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Able to change it, right? Maybe the password
No,
or something like that.
there are not a lot of user involved too. It's not.
Right. So he,
Yeah.
right. So as I mentioned that he's not, like stopping anyone else's access to the,
Yeah.
Oh.
website, or he's not changing the password. So availability is none here in this case.
Okay.
Okay. So this way the CVSS score has been calculated. Let me share this website URL with you. Okay, so that you can just go through it once. Okay, these factors, all other things will be seeing in the upcoming section. And here you go. Just access this website and you can just see this. So as today is our day one, let's keep this much minimal. And today go through all those topics that we have covered. Okay. Covered as in the main topics is CIA Triage and CVSS score. So these are the two main topics. So baki, everything is the and yes, important terms you go through, and rest everything is just the information that you need. Okay. So that you'll get more clarity going ahead.